Louis Paez Jr. was born on November 7th, 1966, in Lafayette, Indiana. His family soon moved to Florida, and he attended elementary, middle, and high school in West Palm Beach, graduating from Forest Hill High School in 1985. He applied to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office in September of 1987 and was hired as a corrections recruit on January 11th, 1988. He eventually attended the Corrections Crossover Academy, earned his law enforcement certificate, and transferred to the Patrol Division in 1998. After completing the law enforcement FTO program, he was assigned to District 5, where he worked as a patrol deputy until being selected for a position in the motor unit in February of 2001. I first met Louis when he was in field training in 1998, and our paths crossed a few more times until I transferred to the motor unit in 2003. Louis was an experienced and respected member of the motor unit at this point, and he quickly took me under his wing and helped me find my way as a new sergeant in the unit. Through this transition in the motor unit, we developed a mutual respect for each other and became more than just co-workers in the same unit. We became friends, and Louis was one of my best friends. I stayed in the motor unit for approximately 6 years, and Louis and I rode together just about every day. As a rider, he was smooth, steady, confident, and safe. He was very intuitive and seemed to know what you were going to do before you even did it. He was the guy you wanted as your wingman. Louis was a dedicated member of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office for over 36 years, but he was a lot more than that. His chosen profession did not define him as a person. He had passions and hobbies. Beyond his PBSO career, and he was really looking forward to the day when he could retire and pursue those passions full-time. He loved his family and friends. He loved photography and nature, and he also loved motorcycles and travel. By the time Louis and I started working together in the motor unit, I had already taken a cross-country motorcycle trip out to Wyoming and Montana and had begun to share stories with him about that journey. He was genuinely interested in these stories. These stories became a frequent topic of our conversations until one day I suggested we take a trip out there together. We each went home that night and discussed the idea with our wives at the time, and we made the decision to do it. We started planning the first of what became many cross-country road trips on motorcycles together. We have traveled to the Grand Canyon, Death Valley, the Pacific Coast Highway, Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks, the Canadian Rockies all the way to the Jasper ice fields, and many points in between. I would estimate that we share nearly 100,000 miles riding together, next to each other between work and travel. He was an exceptional wingman and travel partner. We were very compatible when we traveled together, and we seemed to be able to agree on just about everything, from the distance we wanted to ride that day, which frequently was close to 1,000 miles, just to get us out of or back into the flat, straight roads of Florida, or the hotel we would stay at night. He wanted to know if they had a gym, and I wanted to know if they had a bar. But it worked because we could usually find a hotel with both. We often pushed ourselves on the road to get more highway miles behind us in order to spend more enjoyable time at our destination. Louis was also a great teacher and a very talented motorcycle instructor. He was patient and able to easily spot mistakes riders would make and help to quickly correct them. The unit instructors each had different strengths, and Louis was very good at explaining the principles of countersteering as it applies to motorcycles and crash avoidance. His instruction has helped countless riders avoid crashes and injuries. One such example is explained in a commendation letter I found in his personnel file that was written by a Boynton Beach police officer on April 15th of 2008, and he had recently completed a motorcycle operator course where Louis was one of the instructors. An excerpt of the letter reads as follows. On April 15th, 2008, a short 30 days after completing the course, my training was put to the test. While initiating a stop on a violator in the 3400 block of Old Boynton Road, a vehicle entered the lane I occupied and approached my police motor head-on. With the vehicle closing on me, I was able to apply the SIPTE principle and choose the best of three available options. I quote, pushed right and went right, end quote, and executed an evasive maneuver which took me out of the direct path of the oncoming vehicle. I narrowly avoided being struck head-on, and the vehicle struck only a glancing blow to the left engine guard and floorboard, but I did not go down. The result was a fracture to my left foot and minor damages to the motor and the involved vehicle. Each of you should know that the work of these instructors has saved the life of a fellow officer, a husband, a father, and a son. My loved ones, our respective agencies, and our extended law enforcement families have been spared the pain of what could have happened. I am grateful to each of these men, and I wish to commend them on a job well done. I will continue to ride and hope that there will come a day that I can respond in kind. Lewis touched so many lives in a positive way. He was truly an angel on earth. To paraphrase a quote from the late Ronald Reagan when he referred to the United States Marines, quote, "Some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in the world. The Marines don't have that problem." Neither did Lewis Paez. The event that took Lewis from us has no reasonable explanation for why it happened. To try and search for one is simply wasted energy. It is times like these that remind us how fragile life is and how fortunate we are to have had friends like Lewis, and how fortunate we are to have been able to share good times together and good memories. We will hold those memories for the rest of our days, and Lewis will live on through those memories. Sheriff Bradshaw said it best on the day of the tragedy, that when a law enforcement officer dies, a part of the community dies with him. It has been said that November 21st, 2024 was the darkest day in the history of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and I cannot disagree. I do believe there is some good that is associated with this dark day, however, and that good is the outpouring of support from the community, our PBSO co-workers, and our fellow first responders and surrounding agencies. I know Lewis would want me to especially thank the PBSO deputies that were the first to arrive on the scene that day, and the responding stations from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I know that all of you did everything that was humanly possible to help the 3 injured motormen, and for that we are all grateful. I would also like to thank the staff at St. Mary's Hospital for their exceptional response and support. As an agency, we got knocked down that day, but we didn't get knocked out, and we will get back up, and we will be stronger together. We will get through this with the continued support from all of you. Lewis, we love you and we will miss you. Ride hard and rest easy, and may God bless us all.